Hello, Moto. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. I am your sleepy host, Mrs. Best. We have our co-host from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel, renowned author James Jackson. Be sure to check out his book reads. I did share them to the community here on the channel. So if you guys don't follow him, you can find him. He has the book too. Look at that. Look at the Lord work.
Look at the Lord. Look at the Lord. I haven't put it up yet.
I love it. But he just did, what was it, chapters 5 to 9, I believe.
5 to 9. So next Saturday will be from um would be from not to be 10 to 14. And then unfortunately, you guys, I have to take a break. Unfortunately. My father did pass, so I have to prepare for his funeral. So I will not be on YouTube for the last 2 weeks of June. But I will be back July.
All right, all right, all right. We will be here. We offer you condolences. Anybody else who wants to offer condolences, feel free to drop it in the comments. We always accept love,
Yes.
positivity, all those types of things. But what we are here to go over is the Never Ever Met, the show that comes on the OWN network, Oprah Winfrey Network. And I'm interested to go over this episode. So I'm pretty sure that the finale is next week, and I need to email Shayna about that. So if the finale is next week, we will be trying to collaborate with Shayna underscore MCD. Love her, love her, love her. What's good, Miss AKA? Just came in and hit the like button and good night. Oh, thank
Oh,
you.
thank
That's so
you.
kind. That's really
Yes.
kind. I
We love
appreciate
it.
you. I appreciate you so much. But yeah, we should be recapping it with Shayna. I'm gonna talk to her about that because I just realized when you said something, James, that it's probably the finale. I don't know if they're gonna do a reunion yet.
Which is crazy because I need them to.
Yeah, we I think a reunion is definitely necessary for the Never Ever Mets because half of these people is probably never gonna see each other again. The way that they are acting when it comes to like just their interactions, getting along, all of that, I just don't know that they're gonna stay together.
I don't think they're gonna stay together. I was watching Shayna. Speaking of Shayna, I was watching her recap. And she doesn't feel like any of these couples are gonna make it. And now I'm starting after this episode, I'm starting to see that. I feel like they're not going to make it. And at the end of the day, I'm not mad because the show was entertaining, but yeah,
We've
making
been saying
online
the
dating
whole times, it's clear that none of these couples are gonna make it. We talked about that last week ourselves.
right.
I've seen a lot of recappers saying that after what happened with Shay and Josh, nobody believes Millie and Greg. Nobody believes in Jody
Hmm.
and Aaron, not even themselves.
Right.
Diamond and Aaron H got so much bad history, nobody believed in them. So we really only had Shay and Josh left that was willing to at least look past the foolery. But let's get it to Shay and Josh. That's how the episode starts. Shay is still upset about the rumor that came from Alexis, who used to be on the show. Diamond came up to her saying that Alexis told her that Josh was trying to, hit that in the middle of the night. Um, she ends up forgiving Josh, which to me, they're a joke as a couple. They've been a joke for me since the beginning, personally. Though 12 years not meeting nobody, I'm gonna just be quite frank. I wouldn't be faithful not meeting nobody for 12 years. If I'd never seen you in person, what I owe you? I ain't met you yet. And you ain't tried to make the effort to meet me. So I never took Shay and Josh fully that seriously, but with as long as they've been together, she seems like the type of woman who will just forgive, say yes, and keep it
Hmm.
moving and all of those. He seems
Hmm.
like a F boy. I'm not going to say it. I can't curse this early in the video, but he does seem like a F boy. I don't see anything good coming from them. So we see Shay ask Diamond how the conversation came up the following day. And she says that the conversation came up because Alexis was asking her about everybody in the house and she was stuttering, and then she says that because of the fact that you and Josh are planning to get matching tattoos, I wanted to let you know of what Shay is saying about that. Now, Shay does feel it's strange that Alexis did not call her, which I agree too, because they were cool in the house.
Hmm. I agree as well.
So it's like, why wouldn't you call her if that's somebody you cool with? And if Diamond got a phone, I'm sure you got a phone. So why aren't you keeping in contact? Now, at the same time, y'all, I do feel like Diamond was being a little messy, but I don't think she was being messy in a way that was like, oh, I'm miserable, so I want this person to be miserable. I really do think she's just somebody who's nosy and her
She
messiness is just telling business when she don't need to.
what everybody has to remember is that she is auntie.
Mhm,
So I think because I agree with you, I don't think she really was coming from a malicious place initially. I
mhm.
think it landed that way, but also I don't even think it would have mattered even if it happened or not. Shay was always going to be on the side of Josh regardless. And
Yep,
she was going to find a reason to beef with another woman because once again, her level of insecurity is so down to the floor that it wouldn't have mattered even if, let's say, it was even something worse than him trying. Let's say he actually did it. Shay wouldn't have cared because keep in
yep,
mind, this man had a whole baby on her.
that's right.
So we'll, so that's what I'm saying. So honestly, I just felt like yeah, Diamond did it out of probably critique concern. I would say critique concern because they're on TV.
Mhm.
But I don't feel like she really was trying to be messy. I really don't.
I don't. I think this just her nature, but I do think at her age, she should understand that being nosy and in everybody's business. Not everybody wants your advice. Not everybody is going to welcome you into their business. So, they both wrong. But overall, to me, where there's smoke, there's fire. I ain't never heard a rumor of my man ever doing something like that with 16 years of being together. I'm
Right.
not saying the man is perfect, but when it comes to rumors of him like stepping out with a friend, and we have traveled with friends, shared hotel rooms with friends when we was younger, all types of things. Ain't never even heard nobody allude that anything has happened. I know a lot of people, even if maybe you guys watching now, you probably got an ex or somebody you dated who was around your friends and you may have had your problems broke up, but you probably ain't heard nothing too shabby or crazy about them dealing with somebody you know. Hopefully, we know it does happen. There are those outliers, but it doesn't always happen. So I feel like something did happen in order for Alexis to even feel the need to tell Diamond anything. But, we know that Shay, like James said, regardless, will forgive that. If you forgive him making a baby and not visiting you for 12 years, even after making a baby,
Mhm.
then you'll forgive anything. Shay needs to figure herself out. Why did my husband say she looked like a crackhead that's actively smoking but trying to hide it with the wig? I said, you know what? Oh, so best.
I'm not. I'm
I'm
not doing this. I'm
doing
not
it.
doing this. I'm not doing this with y'all today.
That's
Why?
That's your
First
friend,
off,
James.
why? I get it, but still, that why?
I
First
said,
off,
"Look,"
where the hell that even come from?
he was watching it with me. He's just like, baby girl.
I want them camera, whoever this production crew is in this interview, you brought some. Stop getting in these people's mouths. Stop getting in these people's mouths. I don't want to
Oh,
see all of these periodontal diseases. I do not want to see all of these overbites and underbites,
child.
and I do not want to see edge to edge. I do not want to see recurrent decay. I do not want to see essentials having diacetymies. I do not want to see it.
Damn.
And yes, I did do dental practice. So yes,
Oh my goodness, y'all. Oh my goodness. It does look like Jane froze for a second. Let me remove him and bring him right back. And hopefully he'll figure it out. I hope he does. It looks like everybody can hear me still, though. So we will comment and get an opinion from James once we can hear and see him again. But yeah, I agree with what he was saying. We don't need to see these people's mouths no more. So moving on, y'all. Sandia and Chris then get asked. Oop, I done scrolled ahead of my notes. So we then see the group play a game that's basically called the hot seat. And this game is going to be a game where everybody in the cast gets to ask each other anonymous questions. And through those questions, there's going to be answers that come about. So I thought that this was just a game that was messy. You know what I'm saying? I was like, why would you have them ask anonymous questions of each other when you guys know, y'all know for a fact that they have in beef and people's going to be petty. You can't expect them to act right. So the first person, and we see Jody and Aaron, they ask them if they are going to be long or short term. And Jody going to talk about just term. What is just term? Like, what is taking so long for you to admit that you don't want this man? That's what I don't like and cannot respect about Jody. Like, if you don't want Aaron, that's okay. You don't have to like him. It's okay to not have a relationship or connection with him. You know, it totally makes sense. But it's like she can't admit it. And that's the part that annoys me. We have an update from James, y'all. It looks like he just lost internet. Um, let me see. All right. So we will hope to get him back. It looks like he lost internet in his area. So if James comes back, yay. But if not, I'm sure that he will be here next week. He has a lot going on, but I appreciate him for being here anyway. So, James, we love you and I hope you tune in. Also, feel free to comment your opinions, James, whatever way you want to be here. But yeah, I just thought that was weird. Like, girl, already we get that you're not interested in this man. Just dump him already. Then they ask in 5 years where they would think that they would see themselves. They asked this to Aaron and Jody. And Aaron answers that he feels like he would see themselves in businesses and owning businesses and things like that. And so then they're like, okay, well, what about marriage? And he brings up the fact that he and Jody both have the same point of view when it comes to marriage, that they believe that marriage is something that you more so do for business reasons versus love, which I don't agree with. I know that there's some people who get married because it's like, oh, it's easier for us to be together if we're married, or being married means we get a tax write-off, but after a certain number of years and if you're at a certain age. But, like 9 times out of 10, people are getting married out of love, foolish love. Only people be foolish enough to marry people that they know that they don't know and then pay for it with the state. So I don't know that I agree with that. I feel like they just have an excuse for every reason that shows that they don't like each other. Like, it's clear that y'all don't like each other. That's the part that really annoys me with Jody and Aaron. Like, he knows, he was just saying in a previous episode, he could sense that she don't rock with him like that. She not feeling him like that. He could sense it, but he not gonna say that publicly. It's like, why are y'all putting the front on? The rest of the world can see it. We could all see it. Don't make no damn sense. Doesn't make any damn sense. Moving on, y'all. Shay and Josh come up there and they ask about trust. And now suddenly Shay says that she trusts Josh. We also learned something strange, and I really wish James was here for this. We learned that Shay's mother and family knows literally nothing about Josh. That's the weirdest thing. That's the weirdest thing. One moment, y'all. I'm texting James. Anyhow, but yeah, I thought that was weird. Like, Shay, why doesn't your family know of this man you claim to love so much after 12 years? I would understand if they don't know that you're still talking to him after he made the baby and cheated and all those crazy things. But girl, I do not understand how they just know nothing of him. So I'm like, where's her family or friends? Who's going to come through for her? It's very strange. Moving on, y'all. Sandia and Chris get asked about how they work on their communication issues. And Sandia it's I don't know. It's annoying. They obviously have communication issues. I think it's deeper than that. I think that she's passive and doesn't know how to speak up. And I think that she likes to call her passiveness patience, but it's not patience. I just think she's passive and we find it a little bit. And he is using his pain to drive these like ignorant, toxic like narratives that no one should have towards anyone they're dating, but especially a man towards a woman. The next question they ask them is crazy. But before we get to that, Chris brings up that he will never give all of his time to a woman. Oh, I wish James was here because this irritated my soul. What do you mean you will never give all of your time to a woman? So what if you get with this guy, Sandia, and you have a daughter? Does that mean he's not going to give all his time to his daughter? Like, what's wrong with him? I don't understand it. You'll never give all your time to a woman because he did it for 8 years, he said, in a previous relationship, and he viewed it as wasted time. Boy, bye. Go cry me a doggone river. Chris, seriously? You're trying to act all tough and stuff, and you looking like kitty cat emoji. A BICTH, and in that order, as Mama D says. That's what he's looking like. Like, I understand people are hurt and they put up a wall, but when you view your pain and you experience pain, and then your solution to that is, oh, I'm going to go hurt others. There's something wrong, and you need to go get some help, dig in, talk to somebody to address that. That's not normal. People get cheated on left and right, unfortunately, in the world. People get left, abandoned, mistreated all the time in the world. There's a very good and large percentage of people getting mistreated who don't go and mistreat others after being mistreated. I understand that trauma can cause people to do certain things, but he's just kind of an asshole at this point. I'm not really feeling Chris. I don't think he and Sandia will work. And if they do, she won't be happy. She'll just be settling and complying and a yes woman and, all of those things. So I don't know. They annoy me. They asked Sandia how it feels to be controlled by a man. That was literally the question. We saw Diamond and Aaron ask that question. And it was a little bit of a rude question, but I think it was realistic. I don't think she's letting him control her, but the way that he's trying to go about the relationship is in a way where it's like, dang, like you might, like, eventually it could look that way or get to that point. That's why it's important to speak up in a relationship. If you don't speak up, you can put yourself in a position where you can become controlled if you have a spouse that's a jerk enough to even try to do that, or it can come off and others can perceive it as looking as though you are controlled. So I don't listen. The question was effed up. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. That question was messed up. But it's like, this is what happens when you're with a man and he's treating you and talking about you like this. What did they expect? So they then bring up gender roles because he believes in gender roles. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. My husband and me somewhat believe in gender roles, but I think gender roles are in today's world becoming something that's subjective, meaning it's different for every person and every couple. What works in one relationship may be different. I have a coworker who works full time. She is a woman. Her husband, he is at home with their kids. What do they call it? House husband or whatever. And I don't see anything wrong with it. It works for them. But other people might look at that like, no, the man should be the one at work. So gender roles can be subjective, But Chris feels like women are bad decision makers, which pissed me off, which pissed off Taronda. I won't call her Portia from Empire. I'll call her by her real name. Because I felt like she properly addressed him without getting disrespected or losing her cool. Women are excellent decision makers. So did your mother make a bad decision to have you? Did she make a bad decision in raising you? Like, how are you going to treat all women as if we are bad decision makers just because one woman mistreated you? I don't think it's okay either way, but I don't think that 8-year relationship is the only thing that impacted him. I'm interested to see the relationship he has with his mother and hear about his childhood, because there has to be more than just that one woman you dated who made you, honestly, it seems like he has some resentment towards women as a being. So I don't know, but Taronda got him in his order. Like, we need you and you need us. It goes, it goes back and forth, y'all. It goes both ways. So I was glad that she checked them, because I didn't understand it. We have an update from James, you guys. There is an internet outage in his area. So if he's able to join, yay. If not, he'll be back next week. You guys can also comment your opinions in the comments and those things. Comment to James. I'm sure he'll respond as well. But let's move on from that. So, he's just an ass, Chris. Moving on. Everybody in the household's Millie accountable. I don't think Millie and Greg are going to last. Millie is unusually difficult. Greg is trying, but it can't just be one person trying. I also don't believe that she's on this show for love. It's very strange that y'all both live in LA, but y'all not seeing each other. That's weird. That's weird. So I don't trust it. I'm hoping we get a reunion. And this is not the last episode, you guys. It looks like there will be an episode 9 and 10. So next week and week after next. Once we get the finale, I will announce it by putting that into the title of the show. But it looks like there will be 2 more episodes that I can see. My cable box only let me see towards like end of June. Anywho, Diamond and Aaron are the next people to be asked questions in the group while playing this hot seat game. And what gets brought up is that Diamond doesn't say she doesn't say I love you as much as Aaron does, which I've noticed, but me and James have talked about this. I feel like Aaron, as much as he says I love you, whenever people have to say it, I want to see it through your actions. All I've gotten is he has a foot fetish and like big women. And Diamond has feet and she's a big woman. But I ain't seen nothing that he can really say or explain that shows like that he like loves her, like little stuff. My husband would be like, I like how when you're sleepy, your lips will poke out, like little stuff that you might start to like about someone. Aaron can't name none of them. He like toes and he like big bitches. And Diamond is a big bitch and she's got toes, pretty toes. So, I don't see love, I see lust. And I think that a lot of the group does. Now, this couple and the questions that they was asked, well, it was their turn at the table, is precisely why the episode was titled Those Tables Be Turning, because the tables turn. Diamond and Aaron, I will say, they have had the most to say about everybody and everyone else's relationship. But when asked a simple question playing a game, it shows that it's not really that deep. Now, she says that she does say I love you, but she says it privately. And Aaron's like, well, how do you know we don't have a connection? Privacy. Aaron, shut up. You know you don't have a connection. You just want to prove them wrong, but shut up. Joanna is never going to want you. She's just not. So the group says that Diamond and Aaron, the whole group tells them, y'all been in everybody else's business and playing messy. And Shay gets really upset and is going off to where the host had to calm her down. Shay, you and that cheap wig and them bad teeth need to stop. Stop it, Shay. Shay was irritating me. Yes, everybody got the opportunity to tell Aaron and Diamond about themselves, but they're older. They're not just going to argue and go crazy like the rest of y'all. And Shay was doing too much. Keep that energy with your nigga boo. That's what I'm going to say. You need to keep that energy with Joshy Poo, Joshy boy, Josh from Memphis, who's made 2 babies on you. That's the energy you need to keep with him, because where there's smoke, there's fire. And that rumor didn't just come about. It didn't just come about. It came from someone who's a part of technically being the source, which was Alexis. So I'm looking, she was doing way too much, James. She absolutely was doing way too much. It didn't make any sense. It didn't make sense. I was like, okay, I get that y'all are a little irritated with Diamond and them, but at the same time, you're mad at her about a rumor. You still haven't tried to talk to Alexis. Now you claim Alexis don't know you, but y'all was close when she was in the house and friendly. You're one of the people who was consoling Alexis when she was upset and dealing with crap with Dominique. So the more Shay gets upset, I don't think she realizes, the more it makes her look like, okay, something did happen. Because if nothing happened and you truly trusted him, or you truly believed that everything was good, you wouldn't be so mad at Diamond. That's how I feel. Let me know if y'all feel differently. Like someone comes to me and it's like, oh, this was said, and you know for a fact your dude didn't do that, then it is what it is. But I don't know. When I want a reunion, because when you watch back this episode, Shay, you gonna see that man and her giggling and then stepping outside. And me personally, I'm old school, y'all. I will put my ass on a robe. I'll put on Mr. Best sweatpants, whatever I got to put on. I'll put on some swim trunks and a tank top, but I'm not going to just walk outside in some booty shorts with somebody else's man at night off camera. No, not I set the fly. No, I'm not. It's just a way to conduct yourself as a woman who's in a relationship. And Alexis didn't do that. So I feel like when Shay watches the video, she will feel differently and probably feel stupid for yelling at Diamond. James, who is our lovely host from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel, says it's easier for her to get mad at Diamond because she won't hold Joss accountable. Yep. That's exactly what's happening. I think Shay is insecure. I think she's insecure. I get the feeling she might have been bullied at one point for her looks. I get the feeling she's not always the girlfriend who has all the boys getting at her, and nothing's wrong with that. But she's extremely insecure. I feel like it relates to her looks, her past, everything. And she seems to be nice. She seems to be a good woman. She has value. You know what I'm saying? Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. We can't be worried about how people like how we look. All I care about when it comes to my looks is my husband. Anybody else, I don't give a damn. Okay. And it should be that way. But Shay is a little bit insecure, which I can understand, and I can't attack her for that. But she needs to stop attacking other people just because she's insecure. If you mad at your man and you feel away, then stop kissing on him and giving him ass and tell him you mad at him and you feel away. Put him on pause. Put him on time out. Put him on keep warm. If it's a crock pot, do what you have to do. But you have the right to take some space and demand respect for yourself, Shay, and you need to do that instead of hollering at Diamond. Because Diamond not gonna care. She just gonna stop messing with you and then go find somebody else to be messy with. That's just what's gonna happen. It's going to happen. Anywho, y'all, if you haven't already, please like the video. If you are a part of the live replay gang, was good. I'm so sorry I didn't greet y'all earlier. I should always do that. Thug life to everybody. I appreciate everyone who watches. Even if you pop in for 2 seconds, I appreciate you. And shout out to everybody on Twitch. Thank you, Twitch, for watching me and all of those things. It looks like James Jackson has returned.
Yes, I have returned, y'all. There was an outage in my area, and I'm like, oh my God. So I was trying to do my tech savviness.
Well,
But I
let's take
am
a
back.
moment because this is the last live I have for a few hours and just comment your opinions on what we discussed thus far.
So we didn't get to Sandy and Chris, right? Did I miss that?
Sandia and Chris and him making the comments about women being bad decision makers. Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
We
we commented on that, but you could give your opinion.
So for me, because we didn't know, I didn't remember him saying he had an 8-year relationship with somebody else
This is
before
the first
getting with.
time they really spoke on it.
Okay,
They just said
that
he had a long relationship.
y'all dropped the ball because the fact that he feels this way should have been addressed,
Yep.
and the fact that he has all this trauma, especially I didn't even know he had a kid. So
That's not his kid.
he said it.
No, he said he loved her kid like it was his child.
Oh, okay. I thought he said, my kid. So and here's
No.
the thing. He has a lot of trauma that he's not
Mhm.
addressing, on top of him trying to be impressionable in front of all these men. Like, there's a lot going on with him that I felt like y'all really dropped the ball on the ratings. And to me, I'm looking at Sandia like, okay, none of this is a red flag for you, because I'm telling y'all, trauma shows up in dangerous ways. It
Yes,
really
it
does in a
does.
relationship.
It really does.
It's for him to say he doesn't automatically trust people or trust women when he gets in a relationship. They have to build towards it. It's like, well, they can't build towards it if you're going to demean them for thinking emotionally. Let me tell y'all something about the difference between how men and women think. Men think short term, women think long term. That's what that means when women think with emotions versus a man thinking logically. That means that logically only means that's going to be a short term of gratification, where a woman thinks long term. Okay, how is this going to affect me? What's this going to do? And how long can I have it? Logically, you don't think like that. It just doesn't happen that way. You're thinking of it being the safe way a lot of the time. So for him to say that, to me, I think there's mama issues there.
Yeah, I had said that also. There has
Yeah.
to be. There's no way that you have this strong disdain towards women as a whole, and then you blame it on one relationship.
Right.
It can't just be that one relationship. It has to be like multiple relationships, or
Absolutely.
it has to be multiple relationships and something that happened with your childhood or your mother or your parents, whoever raised you, for you to keep going back to those kind of relationships. Like, patterns are a thing, especially with humans and how we, display what we do when we date. So, child,
It's one of the two. Either you're mad at your mama and you don't want to admit it, or you don't like women at all. It's one of the two.
Yeah,
I'm starting to get like this with men, because there should not be this much hatred and disdain for women like this. There should not be under any circumstances. It's not always a woman's fault. So either y'all don't like women, we need to have a different conversation, or you mad at your mama and you need to be honest. You need to be honest. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, because it can be fixed. Like, that's just what we're saying. As far as Joanna and Aaron go, she irritates me now. And I said this last recap. She irritates me because you want to be on TV, and it's very obvious.
Yeah.
You want to be on TV, and you don't want this man. And instead of you saying that and being honest and taking the repercussions, and honestly, and y'all, at first I was like, no, he's playing too. But no, I don't think he's playing. I think he really is this oblivious. I really do. Because to me, it's not going on script. Like, he really is sitting there and everyone's looking at him like he's crazy. But I really think
I
that
said this last week. He gives me the energy because we know he has a kid. I feel like he probably has a kid with like the first woman he ever slept with or something. I just don't think he has experience dating. I don't
mhm,
think he has game, and I think he lacks discernment. And I can't blame him for that. And then seeing how his dad was with him, I feel like sometimes when you're too close to your parents, even if it's one parent or both parents, it can cause you to have or to feel like a little bit less mature because that love can sometimes spoil you in different ways. So
absolutely, and
he
definitely in a
definitely
different way.
gives that energy, but I'm over him. You just said in the previous episode that you know this girl not feeling you. So
And that's my whole thing, and I don't understand why, what's her name? The host, I don't know why she's not picking up on this.
the host is terrible. I'm sorry, she's terrible. The only good thing she's done was check Chris, but Taronda should not be hosting any show. From what I saw with this, unless she's given a script strictly to
Mhm,
follow. But I think most of it I'll blame on Own. But I'm gonna move it along to this to continue the episode because it really
mhm,
wasn't anything else too
right.
much that happened. Um let me see, where did I end up with this girl getting upset? So after Shay and them get upset, they leave the activity, y'all. They go to show Shay hiding in the bathroom on the phone, talking to her friend loudly. Now she's mad at Aaron H and is cursing about him, calling him all types of bitches and, doing the most. And she needs to relax. That's all I'm going to say there. I don't have much. Do you have anything to comment on her little?
I didn't like what she did, but at the same time, I don't like how he inserts himself in trying to check these women and dominate these women in the way that he does. To me, it's a little overbearing because
Yeah.
none of these young ladies are your daughters. I just want you to be aware of that. So you can't chastise no, and then you calling them out their names and you just having an argument to say it just really, instead of you just walking away because you are older than all of these people, double their ages. So I
Right.
need you to stop inserting yourself in a way where you're chastising them as if they belong to you. I need you to stop doing that.
That's the toxic part of Aaron
Hmm.
is he will argue with a piece of lint. I don't even think it's specific to women. He will argue with a piece of lint.
I
I
think
can
it's
tell.
specific to women because there's a little bit more aggressiveness in his tone and his demeanor and his approach as opposed to the men in the house. I have not seen that same approach with the men. Like, I'm going to give you an example. Diamond's sister, the things I didn't like that. I thought, even though the sister was wrong and overstepping,
Mhm.
that's not a way to address her and talk to her. I didn't like that either. I thought that that was very sad of you to think that you can do that and just say, well, you know what? I'm sorry you feel that way about me. I hope I could turn it around because I do love your sister. Versus, oh, you a bitch and you this and you that and all. To me, that was unnecessary. And I see the same thing with Shay. I'm seeing him doing that exact same behavior. He just toned it down a lot.
Yeah. I don't think he did that much with Shay. As much as she was saying, and he didn't even do much to her. I don't think he did too much with her, but he does have a way. I just think he's argumentative as hell. And whoever it is, he's annoying to me though. He really annoys the crap out of me. We're gonna get more into him. I don't even know how this show's gonna have 10 episodes, y'all. It's craziness. But next thing we see, after all that extra stuff, is Greg and Millie go to the boom boom room. Good for them. Um, I just think it's weird that all these couples go to that room and are doing it basically in the same space in the same bed. That's weird to me. But I guess
I
they'll
ain't seen nobody Lysol or throw no sheets in the
right.
washer. I ain't seen nobody wipe down
Change
no
the
bedding.
pillow.
I ain't seen nobody change no pillows, throw them pillows away. I have not seen the black light to make sure we didn't get any semen anywhere. I have not I have not seen anything, y'all, and this is what's disturbing about that. And the fact of the matter is that they only got one place to do that in is even more crazy.
Yeah, if you're gonna have a couple show on network, give them bedrooms, the couples. And if the couples don't work to where they can't share a bedroom, make like a guest room or something with bunk beds where people can go when
Or
they're
y'all
like
can even
super
do the
spaced
little
out.
y'all can even find a location where there's little cottages. Like, you know how in the movie Vacancy,
Hmm.
You know how they have that little hotel in the middle out of nowhere, and it's a
Mhm.
whole bunch of little rooms. That's what they need. They need their own little living quarters. That way we can really see what's going on here. Because or shoot this in a damn mobile home park, yeah, where it's a whole bunch of little
Right,
trailers.
give them each a fifth wheel. But
Yeah,
but they should have, as couples, you should have your own space. Me and my husband always say when people invite us on couples trips, vacations, anything like that, I ain't sharing a room with y'all. Like I'm not doing that. Maybe we had like when we was like 16 to 19, we would a little bit if we traveled, but we barely travel. But as adults, no, we need our own room, not in the same space as everybody. If it's an Airbnb, we need the master because you know that's just what it is. Like, but I don't know. This show is weird, y'all. It's moving on. They went to the boom boom room. They had their boom boom time, and I'm just like, she did all of that just to still give him some. Moving on, Dr. Allie, the relationship expert, comes back, and she's there this time to talk to all the couples versus just the couples that are, I guess we could say, in crisis, even though all of them are in
I was
crisis.
gonna say, yeah, she needs to see everybody.
Diamond's daughter arrives and it stressed me out. I said, this family and their wigs are terrible. Why are you guys separating the baby hairs from the
No,
freaking
what cracked me up
wig
is she's
lace?
actually a hairstylist.
Whenever hairstylists are like, I'm a hairstylist and their hair look tore up, I don't know who's going to her, but maybe she does hair better than she look. I don't know. I don't know. My hair braider, her hair be done. It's braided, weaved,
I
wig,
was gonna say
crochet.
my hair. The guy who cuts my hair, that hair be ain't a line part out of style. He can't get my shit right to save his life, but he can get his shit right. I'm telling you, it ain't. Even I've never had a barber whose hair is out of place, and I even had like some of the most raunchiest of like barbers, and they shit was their beards was lined up, everything was lined up. So I'm like, yeah, we pay attention to that. So I don't know what this young lady was doing, but that wasn't it, baby. That you needed to try again.
I tell you, Lord help us. But her daughter's there. I don't remember her name. I'm sorry. I don't
It was some shit.
Amari or something.
Lamaria, yeah, Mari or something, yeah, or
Uh,
Amani or some shit.
I'm not trying to be mean. The family needs to eat some salads. I'm not even trying to be mean. I'm saying it. Ain't like because he said, okay, I like plus size women. And yes, black community, we can be thicker or something, but like you could tell when somebody's just like naturally heavier or when someone's heavy because they're eating like shit.
Not they need some salads.
They do. I'm sorry. And I feel like Diamond may be settling for Aaron because she feels like it's harder for her or is more insecure
No,
about
she's
her.
telling for Aaron because the moment he revealed he had 6 kids, I only knew of 2.
Right. And that's what we
Where
find
the
out
fuck?
with
Where the fuck the other 4 come from?
so that's the thing I don't like. So her daughter comes, they meet and all of that. Um it's weird. I found a bunch of red flags. I don't know, y'all. I could be overlooking it or whatever, but the daughter did not feel like Aaron was in love with Diamond. I don't either personally. The more he says it, the less I believe him. And then she
Right.
also is concerned and says, "Well, you guys act like okay, well, you've been with my mom for 5, 6 years, which yeah, but she says that he's never attempted to talk to her. That's weird. At the very least, if you're around your mom and he hears you or something, be like, oh, well, that's nice. Tell her I said hello or something. Like it don't have to be that deep of a talk. Like my mom is somebody who likes to just get married, it seems, decade after decade, there's a new husband. But like they always make the effort, even though I'm in my 30s, to get to know me. Oh, that's Amina. Tell her I said hello. Like something. So I do agree with the daughter. That is strange that he has not tried to speak to her, have contact with her, anything, get to know her. The other thing is strange. You want to marry Diamond without ever meeting or talking to her daughter. How can you want to marry somebody without knowing who they love? I feel like that's an important part of it. I
Mhm.
eloped, got married hella young, but at the same time, he knew my parents, I knew his parents, he knew my friends, I knew his friends. People knew of each other if they hadn't met. So you should know of each other. That's just a strange thing to do. We then learn from the daughter he's been married twice. The first time he was young, which we give him a pass. The second time was for 12 years. I want to see the paperwork. That's all I'm going to say. 12 years, I want to see the paperwork. I want to know you really done. Aaron, because I have my personal suspicions about you. And we learn that he has 6 kids. And after all of this, the daughter approves of him for her mama.
I feel like that was too easy. I feel like that was too easy for you to give that kind of a blessing to, love. I think you need to investigate just a little bit longer because he had said so many red flags. First of all, there is 6 children. That's a lot, which means that when did these marriages, how many belong to the first wife? How many belong to the second wife? Are there any in betweens that we need to know about? Because he only said 2 marriages and 6 kids. Yes, it's possible for the 2 women to bear the 6 children. They could have 3 each.
Yep.
But I'm just saying in the terms, were those kids in the marriages or did you have any outside children? Did you
There's
cheat
a
on the
lot
first
that we
wife? Yeah,
don't know.
there's a lot I need to know now because to me, that's a lot
Yeah.
for 2 women to bear. I'm just saying, and the time length of the marriages, because he said the first marriage was the 11 years or the second one?
The second one.
The second, okay, so why? Okay, so were you just having babies out of wedlock? Like, what is we doing? I need to
Yeah.
know now because now you didn't open up a whole nother can of worms. You was better off just revealing
I
those 2
I
kids.
more so I don't care about that. I want to know the relationship he has with his children.
And I was getting to that too.
There's so many. I just I wonder what the relationship is. If for parents who are there and great parents, it can be hard to balance relationships with each of your children. I know my dad be struggling sometimes to catch us all because there's 4 of us. So you add another 2 more. So I'm just like, how are these relationships with your children? And I go back to what James said about his aggression and willingness to argue specifically with women.
Hmm.
How can you be willing to do that when you have daughters? So that's
No, it
really
makes me wonder, did you talk to those women like that? And is that the reason why the relationships don't work? Because
child.
I'm just saying, there's too much unanswered with him. So,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
don't feel like Diamond is this naive. Like, I just don't. I
She's
don't.
not. I think that that's why she is more reserved and not offering as many I love yous as the group pointed out earlier in the episode. I don't think Diamond is dumb. I think that Diamond is the type to be silent until she is certain about her feeling or thought. Uh, so we will see what happens with them next week. But I just thought it was strange the daughter approved, but she approved that wig on her head to be on TV. So hey, anything is possible. Moving on, y'all. Last opportunity to give the video a like. We see Sandia and Chris go to meet with this relationship expert again. And this time, Chris explains how his 8-year relationship that he was in changed his views on dating. Says he has a wall up because after 8 years, she just left. And, um, he got close with her son and things of that nature. And then all of that was just gone from him. And he doesn't understand. He didn't say anyone cheated or anything. He said she left. So obviously his past, we've kind of talked about it a little bit already, has impacted him. He claims he has a wall up. Um, I I I don't think this is gonna work. And if it does, it's because Sandy is passive. I'm just losing more and more respect for her each episode. She's very pretty, but at some point you have to speak up. I don't want to hear anything about culture. I know Haitians, have friends who are Haitian. Um, I just they're not like that. So this is a being of her personality, not fully culture. And I'm kind of over Sandia. So that's
I
all.
agree. I agree. Because as I said, I lived in Florida, y'all. It was around Haitians all the time. This is not how they act. They are
Mhm,
not this oblivious. Now, submissive, yes, but not to this. Hell, we do Love and Hip Hop Miami. There's
mhm.
Haitians on there. They don't act like this.
And they'll go back to their husband after they do some F shit, but at the
Mm.
same time, they gonna hear their mouths about the fact that they didn't like it. Sandia's way too quiet. It's not patience, it's
It's
passiveness.
giving.
Grow a pair.
It's giving you too sexually attracted to him to put him in this place and hold him accountable in fear that he'll leave you.
Yeah.
That's what that's giving me. It's giving to me, and I've been in that situation because I know when you're so physically attracted and so well attracted to somebody that you're scared that any move you make is going to trigger them to walk out and leave you. That's what she gives me. And that is a sad way to live because you should never be in fear of losing somebody that much where you will silence yourself. Never be that way.
I agree. I definitely agree as well. I agree with that. So we'll leave that there because we both agree on that. But they didn't really get much out the session. So Dr. Allie then meets with Jody and Aaron. And Jody explains because she asked, like, how was it when you guys first met each other? And Aaron is like, I was just like, wow, I'm finally meeting her in person. And it seemed very sincere. He seemed excited, giddy, you know how a person would be over someone they like. Jody says
Mhm.
that it felt awkward first meeting him. And, then the doctor asked Aaron, how did that make you feel? Like, how does hearing that make you feel? And he says it brings some sadness when she's closed off. And Jody says that his feelings don't impact her. He could be going through what he go through, and that's what he going through. And the doctor explains to her because Jody's been trying to BS everybody else, like, y'all don't get that. I know me. My trauma is the reason I'm this way. And the doctor was like, young lady, you're not about to play me. This feeling should matter to you. You shouldn't be dating anybody whose feelings don't matter to you. You
Mhm.
make that clear. It doesn't matter if you gay, straight, whatever the hell you believe. Okay? You could be a racist white man in Alabama that's gay on the low. All right? It don't matter. Everybody is going to be impacted by someone they like or love's feelings. It's human nature. That's
Yeah, exactly.
he doesn't. And she doesn't, she tries to BS. And I've been noticing this with Jody because she's like, I'm a sexologist. And I feel like she uses her slight education about sex as a way to make herself look smarter, to get out of having to answer certain questions in
I
this house
agree.
specifically. And a sexologist is just somebody who could tell you a little bit about sex. But unless you I'm sorry, have the licensure, the degree, to talk about it, then don't. And I don't know what Jody has. So, but what she does is BS, but we'll say that. Anywho, the doctor explains she should. And then the doctor asks them, where do y'all see yourself in, 2 months? Just 2 months. Just 2 months, you guys, versus 2 years. This doctor said 2 months. And that she knows what she's doing and can see that they're not going to make it. That's why she picked such a short amount of time. And Jody says she does not see herself, does not know where she will see herself with Aaron in 2 months. And that's when the therapist puts Aaron out and says, okay, girl, because the therapist was like, I know what I'm looking at. So she puts
Mhm.
Aaron out. And the therapist talks to Jody alone. And this is where the episode ends. We don't see the answer, but the therapist asked her, do you think that this is worth pursuing with him? And the fact that there was even a pause in her response means that there's not anything worth pursuing, in my opinion. You wouldn't pause.
And see, and that's how I know the lady is good at her job.
Yep.
Because once again, a real therapist, y'all, can see and know when you're trying to just throw them out to the ringer. They know when you're not really being real with them. Like they can sense it. And her being a woman and sensing that energy, yes, I was so happy that she called it out because we all can see it. And but
Mm-hmm.
her, she better understand she's in the moment and can see this. And she's like, no, there's something she's hiding, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. And I hope that's they take it out of here because I'm tired of her.
Mm.
This check ain't worth it for you to be exploiting yourself over this man. And then he's actually putting whatever sensibility feelings he has into the equation. And you're just sitting over there quiet as a church mouse, allowing it to
Yeah.
happen. And it's like, no, I'm glad she called you out. And I'm hoping we get to the bottom of it.
Right. I'm hoping now this is episode 8, and this episode was titled Those Tables Be Turning. We have episode 9 next week. The week after
Mhm.
that, episode 10. I'm hoping for a reunion, but next week we will see what Jody said. The therapist also did the right thing by considering the like emotional health of Aaron by instead of embarrassing him and asking her that question in front of him, removing him so that you can get an actual honest answer, which is smart to do in therapy. But I'm just happy to see that they have an actual expert. This is what this show has needed from the beginning.
I
I
need
think
the
that,
expert to bump up her resume and actually be the host of this show.
yeah, when you look at shows that have to do with dating and relationships, marriage boot camp, couples therapy, apparently there's
Hmm.
a couples therapy on it's Showtime as well right now. But when you look at those shows, they are led by doctors, Dr. Jen, Dr.
Yes.
Ishmael, they're Dr. Drew. Like there are doctors. It's weird that this show tried to get away with it, but we're gonna see more. Again, this is season 1, so I always try to be forgiving. If this show gets a season 2, I feel like season 2 they'll make a lot of changes. But I still don't feel like any of these people gonna last. I don't feel like none of these people gonna be together. I just don't have faith in none of them. But it's entertaining, so we will continue to be here on Saturdays. But love it like to you guys. The next live that I have will be in 30 minutes, right at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll have a music review. This is the music review that is exclusively hosted by me, our weekend music review. And then we will have, I believe, Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'll be on James's channel tomorrow for that. I'm not sure
Yes.
the time, but we'll share it. And then Monday
Mhm.
we have the Housewives of New Jersey. So we'll
be busy all week, and then Wednesday we'll have Real Housewives of Dubai, and
yes.
then so we're going to be sporadic because they're spreading these shows out, which may be a good thing for us. We may actually enjoy one a day. We may just
Yeah.
enjoy that. So we'll see what happens. And then also Friday's the premiere of Deb Abney show, House of Deb. We're going to see whose channel it would be the better fit on once we watch it.
Well, we could still always do it on both channels too if both of us end up liking it. I'm still willing to join to talk about it doubly, especially with shows like that. It's good to
Yeah, we
do.
can both do it on our channels and
I'm
just
gonna
do a double.
share
Yeah.
either way, you guys. We have a playlist for Watch Your Mouth reviews on this channel. Any shows that we recap together that James recaps, we have playlists. Please watch them. I was looking at my analytics. It looks like you guys are watching them, so I'm very happy to see that. But that's it for today, y'all. I hope everybody's enjoying their Saturday. Summer is soon. It's coming.
It's already 109 degrees in Phoenix, y'all. So yeah, we definitely feel it.
And I'm shivering and have my heater on right now. Child, let me turn it off. That made me hot. Hell.
All right. Well,
All
thank you for
right.
having me. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Adios, everybody.